Hi everyone, Talofa Lover, it's Lay2 here. Hey, I just thought that I'll just leave a message blog and just to help generate the conversation. But first of all, just wanted to say thank you so much for the colour, the vibrancy and all the introductions, and awesome seeing all the images. And sharing a little bit about yourselves. It's fantastic, and just want to applaud you guys for doing the work that you're doing in your own community, and seeing what needs to be done and just being able. So that's fantastic. For those who have not had a chance or to leave a comment or post up some thoughts, please do, and encourage you to keep on doing that. Really, this is for your benefit, and it's to support the work and actions that you're currently doing in your community. So Gontal and I will do our best to support you both. If you have any questions, fire them through. We'll always help with the discussion. So just wanted to touch base about the next question, really. What is community engagement? And I've been doing a lot of thinking about this, and I was in Samoa, in back home on my island, to be with my people for the celebration of 50 years of independence. And during the World War, Germany, of course, came over and colonized Samoa and governed there for a couple of years. Then the governance moved to New Zealand, and Samoa went through this big revolution, and there was a big massive movement called the Mole movement, and what they stood for was Samoa, more Samoa. So Samoans making all the decision making for Samoa, and really it was to say, hey, listen, we are not happy with what is currently happening. We, our people, we hold the answers to many of these issues and can work forward. And so then Samoa stated that they would be able to take forward their country, and in particular with their governance. So it was just awesome to be with, it's just to be with my people and celebrate and being proud of our culture, our nation. So yeah, it was awesome. But on that, I was doing a lot of thinking about the engagement process around how would they have done that, and the content of those discussions that will help decide and inform them to make the right decisions to move forward. So for me, with engagement, it's about finding a mechanism or finding a tool that really hones on to with that community, that will capture and generate the passion of discussion, of conversation, to move forward, to make good decisions and inform them on good decisions as well. So I thought of a community which I had worked with for about 3 years as a community worker, and we used an event, a street party, as the first conversation starter. So who was involved? There were community people, because it came from them, and we pulled in a few agencies. I was also on board as well, and it really was just the role of myself was to facilitate that whole process. And so the key theme for the street party was stronger whānau, stronger community. For all of you, whānau means family in Māori. So it was celebrating, stronger families and a stronger community, and really just making that statement. Pulled in together, did all the planning, free food, made sure that everything was for free, getting information, making sure that information of the key agencies were available, and that they were accessible as well, and doing follow-up conversations with them after. And I guess for us, for a group, it was around being able to capture some of those conversations and some of their thoughts, with those families. So it was a massive turnout. It was a first of its kind, and got some really good feedback. We also had a questionnaire and had some questions around families, things like, first of all, things about your neighborhood. What do you love about your neighborhood? What are the strengths of your of your community? What are some of the resources that you currently use, and maybe just capturing that, and also maybe a question around identifying some gaps as well. What are some of the gaps that you see, or are there any other types of agencies or resources that you think would benefit families, in terms of employment, education for their children, housing, and all of those other things. And you would all have a list of other issues that you kind of would like to pose some questions around. And maybe to also, with those questions, is around the tone of the questions, having a strength-based approach as well, and maybe having some opportunity for some anecdotal comments to capture those conversations too. So out of those key themes, there was just volumes of comments that were made and that were captured. Key themes were that, our young people, we need more opportunities for them, that, there is a huge wealth within this community around sport. Families whose sons have grown up in this neighborhood and made national champs or national teams, and so maybe honing on that sport X factor, which they all seem to have. Utilization of facilities, and maybe if you're wanting to capture that, and really, it came down to there were issues around safety or perceptions of safety, gang violence, drugs and alcohol, of course, but also around, that our kids are amazing, they are creative. So we got together a few other people and nutted down some of these key themes, and the next action moved on to what we had seen through the feedback was visioning, sense of connection, pride and belonging, and for our young people, and opportunities for them to actually be on a platform and be able to share that creatively. So there merged out the superhero mural project, which got us to be able to look at, okay, there is some work here that we could do, and picked up those key themes and moved along with it. Worked with some young people, brought on a Pacific Island person who is known for his animation, and majority of the community is Pacific Islands, or ethnicity around Māori as well, and a few Asian, and small percentage of Caucasian, of Pākehā, and just really worked with them. So they developed their own superhero and went through another engagement process around what are the passions of, what would your superhero stand for? What are some of the things that you would not tolerate? What are the things that they don't like? Some of the kids, there are some really strong things around family violence that came through. Bullying was huge for them. And they were able to use those themes and capture them in a superhero and develop them and develop a backstory, so there is some narrative to their superhero and that they own it. And so went through that whole process, projected that onto a mural, and really was their drawing, did the big massive launch, and it was really amazing. So they're currently on their journey right now to also making sure to keep those superheroes alive, and it's about using those superheroes as you know, little instigators within their community. So having another animation workshop, building in more capacity for these young people, making sure that these opportunities, maybe, and they're wanting to do film nights, and so there would be a series of workshops that will work with these young people and other young people to jump on board, and have more animation workshops of a different skill, and then come the film night, the idea is to have them as like little ads and doing little self-promotions around the community, like there is currently a It's Not Okay campaign, and doing some things around family violence in a safe way, and fun as well. So that is one story that I could share with you around engagement, and really for me it was around the conversation that was held, thinking about the questions that you want to pose, the tone of the questions, using a strength-based approach, as well as accountability, reassuring them what you would be doing with this information, and just keeping them in the loop. Sometimes it might need to be constant, depending on the community. It may take a while to gain trust, because really that's what it comes down to. It's around building that relationship, so that you are able to work together, you're able to facilitate that pathway or that conversation so that it moves, and just really give strength to that story when it is used in such a manner or a different media or whatever form it would take, that the relationship is still held. It's still held, and it's in a good shape. You still have a good relationship. So there are different other tools of engagement, like a street party is only one. Things around spoken word, holding forums, holding meetings. Some people have dinners, and using that just being able to use your own personality to bring it forward into the mix, and to get to know someone. All those small little things go a long way, and then it's looking at how are you going to use that information, and making sure that things are done in a proper manner. So those are some of my thoughts on engagement. I'll try and post up more examples about what other people have used. Feel free to fire through any questions, and I'll also, myself and Gontal, we will do the same as well. So hope that's kind of helped, and I'll try and do a little bit more of these messages as well, just to help the flow of the convo. So take care, and keep safe, and just keep going hard with your work, and look forward to hearing more from you on your posting and your comments. Alright, take care for now.